Of universities and colleges. And now I would like, and made a presentation to him. Thanks to Gail. And now I would like, through you, Mr. Mayor, it's time for you and council to enjoy a fine presentation from my friends and your friends, Gail and Tom King.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Jerry and Gail and Tom. Welcome again.
Thank you, Jerry. We're going to share with you a little bit about what we told the minister and then his feedback to us. So we were very lucky. We expected to meet with him for about half an hour. I think we were together for about an hour and a half. We told him about the process to date, and then go ahead. The biggest thing we needed to address is why Cornwall. There was an election promise that there would be 4 new universities in Ontario. And so we needed to present why should we choose Cornwall. We talked first about the socioeconomic drivers, the fact that we're one of the poorest cities in Ontario. That means that for many of our students, the cost of living makes it impossible for them to go to university. And as a result, we have about 8% of our population with a university degree as opposed to 20% in Ontario in general. Having the distance that we have from university today and the difficulty of attaining a university education in a knowledge-based economy is becoming more and more of an issue.
So we also put together a little chart that shows the 5 largest cities outside of the GTA that are over 45 minutes from the university. And you can see that Cornwall is further than any of those cities, about an hour and a half to the nearest university. And we also have the lowest median household income. So whether there's a connection there or not, I don't know, but clearly in today's knowledge-based economy, a thriving city needs a full range of educational opportunities, including college programs and university programs.
We also mentioned the fact that we don't need a lot of bricks and mortar. We've just done a renovation at the St. Lawrence College campus. We have NAP Canada with its 70 classrooms and state-of-the-art facilities. And the St. Lawrence River Institute has world-class labs.
So one of the things that we focused on with the minister and which he encouraged us further to focus on is how do we build on existing post-secondary opportunities that are already existing in Cornwall. St. Lawrence College already offers a Bachelor of Nursing Science degree with Laurentian University. There's an environmental technology program that allows students to go on to Bishops to finish their university degree. And the River Institute already provides 4, soon to be 5, PhDs for teaching some of the advanced science courses that are required for both of those programs. Clearly, that impressed the minister that we had a core of post-secondary, or university level programming that was already here that we could build on.
So Jerry has already addressed location. The fact that we are a bilingual community is a big selling point in our favor. And finally, community support is just a huge issue. The bigger question is why now? There have been many attempts in the past to have a university here. Why is it different now?
So in many ways, Cornwall has turned the corner in the last decade, but we're still losing the potential of our young people. Now, I don't think I have to remind people why that's occurring, but I'm going to anyway. 2 main reasons. One is the cost of going away to university is prohibitive for many young people in Cornwall. The living expenses alone when you move to another city to attend university can be anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 a year, which is about 2/3 of your university cost. The second reason is that those young people who are fortunate enough and can afford to go away to university do so in their most formative years and often develop relationships and jobs and whatever else in their university town where they've been for the last 4 years. and end up not coming back to Cornwall. So we lose the potential of both sets of people in that. So the province has indicated that there is support for expansion, and we've had lots of great help and discussions from both the college and the River Institute about how we can build on the assets that we already have in Cornwall. And they have indicated their willingness to be partners with us in trying to promote further access to post-secondary education.
So we asked the minister for his feedback, and what he said to us is, obviously there's a lot of competition. He said that the most important thing is that there has to be political consensus. He literally said, we do not want to be blamed when we're trying to help. He said that we need to develop an authentic and unique value proposition. And we need to really look at what are our deep historical realities, what are our strengths, how will we build on those, what are our cultural and economic values, and what value will the university bring to us, both culturally and economically. The province is looking for a return on their investment, and by that they mean what will be the dividends that come to this community as a result of an investment in a university. He said we need to have a clarity of vision and purpose among all stakeholders. And finally, he said, we should develop a niche that incorporates all of those points.
He also said that we need to answer these questions. What is our post-industrial plan? How can we preserve, strengthen, and build on our bilingual culture? Very importantly, he said, how will the university integrate into and support the core of the city? And how will we connect education to what is going on in the area surrounding the city?
He had a few other comments. He said, these were his words, the university must be a foundational idea and institution. And by that, I think he meant we have to think about how the university will be key to supporting the city's plans and outcomes, and how the city will support that. So it really has to be a unity. He said we need to look at what are the needs of local business, industry, institutions. What about the Franco community? What about the Native community? What about the agricultural community? What are the needs and how do we fill them? And then he said, we have to look at what is in demand. We have to research the unique programs that we can support. And then finally, we have to build on existing programs. And the last thing he said was that we need to have very strong leadership. And so we have, I'm really proud to announce the steering committee that we put together and very honored to work with these people. I can tell you that I took off all the titles, I missed one. Only because there wasn't room for them. But
I knew Jeff would be here. So.
Yeah. But it's really a very special group of people to work with. And then before you go to the next slide, Jerry opened with what was his inspiration, and I'd like to close with what Tom's and my inspiration has been. We're fortunate every year to give out a very small bursary to a student from each high school that's based both on financial need and on academic achievement. And the letters of application that we receive are both heartwarming, heartbreaking, and inspiring. They come from kids, often from large families, many times both parents working at minimum wage jobs. These kids have to work after school to help put food on the table. They come home from work and from school, they help take care of brothers and sisters, and some of them even do volunteer work. And somehow, they maintain grades good enough to get into university. Some of these kids dream of becoming a doctor, or an engineer, or another professional, and they can't do it unless they get multiple bursaries. And so, when Jerry came to us and said, would you help? We thought about these kids and we thought, you know what? Every kid deserves a chance. Every kid deserves the chance to be all that he or she can be. And if there's any way we can help support that, we're ready to do that. And we hope you will too. So your turn.
So the minister said after the hour and a half, we asked, so what's the next step? And he said, well, you really need to develop a feasibility study that you can present to my ministry that will clearly outline the answers to all the questions that you posed and provide a very strong path for how we get to where we want to go, which is improving access to post-secondary education. So the beginning of that is a feasibility study. We've done a little bit of research on what it might cost to do that, and we are asking for council's support in moving forward with that. So we need to answer the minister's comments and questions, we need to document strengths and needs, and we need to develop a plan for provincial approval and support. We hope to build on existing infrastructure and minimize the amount of capital that's going to be required so that the province sees its money going into programs as much as possible. Thank you.
In the best interests of those who serve in our community, in this case particularly the younger members who are still filled with dreams and visions and have the potential to be maybe even more than they dreamt of with this kind of an possible opportunity. I'd like someone to move the motion which will be part and parcel of the report to come back from administration to us. Moved by Councillor Grant, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Any questions? Councillor Grant?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for the presentation. I know Jerry, we met, I think, last spring on this, and we have part of our, on the Economic Development Strategic Advisory, it's a big long name, but anyway, it means we are moving the city forward in this plan, and the university has been part of the plan since we developed the strategic plan years ago, and it needed someone to start moving this, and Jerry jumped onto that, and I think he's been moving it forward ever since. And you know, we've been talking about this idea with people in our community, and we have to start winning people in our community because there's a lot of cynical people in our community when it comes to university. And if they see this team that's been put together, I think that'll take some of the cynicism away and start looking at the future and the benefits of this for our community. So personally, I want to thank you because I think you talked about consensus from the political arena. It's part of our plan, and I haven't heard one person around this table speak negatively of it. So I think you have that consensus, and we'll look forward to the report coming back from administration. So good luck.
Councillor Grant, Councillor Sampson, followed by Councillor Teague.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for an excellent presentation. I'm sure Father Rudy is looking down with a great big smile. And thank you for the dreams and the culture of our children that will attend this university. I know we have much culture, rich bilingualism. We have a lot to look forward to. And the city is progressing and moving. So on behalf of the students that are going to be there, I'm sure it'll happen. Since I ran for council, my idea was build a casino. It will pay for the university. But I don't see that coming too fast. But thank you for your presentation.
Councillor Teague.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you. Mr. Benson, you know how to position yourself, and I've watched that for a lot of years. And I fully understand that coming to the table with the two partners that you have as part of the four sort of is putting some additional weight on your presentation, because you were here a couple of weeks ago when we were saying no to the hospital. And you are part of the community action group that is pressuring us on a regular basis to keep the taxes low, but also to invest on what is positive for the community. And when you have these two people sitting next to you, it makes it a little bit tough for us to not move in a positive way, because I remember quite well working with Mr. Kennedy when St. Lawrence Institute of Environmental Sciences was developed, that's, what, 20, 25 years ago, we started, I was on the original board with you on that particular project. That's quite a while ago. And that's part of the university program that you just put up on the, was just put up on the list. I have a kid in second year university, and when you said 20,000, and I know you've gone through the same thing, you're lowballing it quite a
Why
bit.
not? I'm a little older than you.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. One of the things that I appreciated about the presentation and on your list is that you have two names that stand out, in my opinion. Peter Garrow and Mike Mitchell. Having them on board, I think, says a lot. I did notice that you were looking for a chunk of change. I would suggest to you that I would be quite interested in something that would look something like this for that 75,000. 15 from Akwesasne, 30 from the city, and 30 from the counties. If we're going to have partners going forward, I think we need to be real partners. And if we look at population and interest and so on, and I know that Akwesasne has a higher level of education than the city of Cornwall, than Ontario, and than Canada. And so their utilization of a university in this area would be quite high as well. And so on that, I appreciate your presentation, and I look forward to a report from council.
Any other questions, Councilor Rivette?
Thank you. I can tell you that when I met with Jerry, I was 100% behind, I'm still 100% behind it. I think that, as you know, we've been very involved in the education. At St. Lawrence College, we're still giving $100,000 a year. I'm not sure how long that's going to go yet before the $1 million is paid, Mr. Mayor. Do you know that?
Ms. Adams, I'm not sure where we're at exactly.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think this year will be the third year, so we'll have another 7 years.
Another 7 years of $100,000 a year. And also with the River Institute, I know we give them a lot of money. I'm not sure Dr. Rydell's here, but I know that we have $250,000 for the building, and we give you a chunk of change. You can take the interest from it and use it for operating costs. So we've been very active in the community as far as education is concerned. Dennis's idea is a good one. I think it's a good one, Dennis. I think we're going to be partners. We're going to be partners all around. But Mr. Mayor, the community, I don't know how to tell you this, and I don't think it's a secret. The community right now we're right up to our ears. We can't afford anymore. Where I will say I would support 100% if economic development takes the $30,000 out of their budget, and they can find it in there, Mr. Mayor. If you can find it, you give $5,000 to somebody to run a record or a CD to promote the city. I think we can afford $30,000 to look at it if a university is there. My only concern is this an ongoing cost, or is it just a one-time cost for the study?
You don't think we'll be back?
That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of, you know? I mean, if we commit here,
How long have you done this?
if we commit here, you know, I don't want to be tying ourselves so long. We don't know what's going on. I mean, the healthcare is doing that job for us, you know? I mean, they're running this stuff in the community. We're coming back in our services, the police department. I mentioned earlier where the London spent $12 million in mental health responses by the police department last year, 2012. So we got to stop the bleeding somewhere. But I think that, you know, to say that, maybe our neighbors are higher education, yeah, but they don't pay for their education. I think that some of that stuff is paid by the federal government. So I think it's a little different from what we're talking here. And I can tell you, I'm 100% behind it. But the bottom line is, I'm behind what Dennis has said. If it goes that way, Mr. Mayor, I have no problem, as long as economic development can find it in their budget, because that is the budget that's going to take the biggest bang out of this proposal. It's going to bring more people in the community, and that's what economic development is for. The only other concern I have is, you know, with that $30,000, I'm not committing down the road for other things, because if I stand there and say that, I'd be lying to you, because we don't know how much we're going to have next year to operate, and how much other things are going to be downloaded to the community. We know in 2003, you know, we were downloaded a lot of stuff, and we're still paying for it. So I totally support it, but I support it along the lines with Mr. Thibault has said, and that the money comes out of economic development, not out of the tax base. And I think that, I hope this thing flies. I really do. You know, I was talking to my daughter last night. She teaches in Sherbrooke. She won 6 years of McGill. So my pension is gone. That's why I'm still working. So I think it's important that we follow our dream, understanding that the affordability of follow our dream is another issue too. So let's hope it's successful. Somebody comes back and says, listen, NAFCAN is going to want it there, and they got a signed document from a university is going to pay for everything under the cost of nothing. You know, the $30,000, I have no problem with that. I think, that, again, as I said, you got to.
We'll have that debate following a report from the.
Thank you very much.